Tēnā koutou katoa, no mai, haere mai, and welcome to Rugby League Park for this National Under-85 Cup semi-final between the OBU Scallywags and the Takapuna Bombers. Both these teams 2 weeks ago played quarterfinals. OBU, well, they had a big, massive defensive effort, holding on for 20 minutes and not allowing Pakuranga Panthers to go over the line, and they won 17 points to 13. Takapuna Bombers played Patamahui and they won 48-15. So both these teams looking to play an expansive game of rugby here at what was the home of the Hurricanes and the Wellington Lions. This year it's been used as the home ground for Old Boys University. Joining me in co-commentary this afternoon, Premier Referee Ethan Loveridge. Ethan, great to have you on the broadcast. Your thoughts on this semi-final?
Afternoon, Brad, and good afternoon to all our viewers out there. It's going to be an exciting day, and every time I seem to be joining you in the commentary, Brad, it seems to be at Rugby League Park, and we're up on the banks opposite the grandstand today. It's going to be good. Both semi-finals, I think, were very intense and very good games of rugby, as we've seen throughout this under-85 comp. And if the warm-ups of the last half an hour are anything to go by, both teams are rearing and ready to go. They were very intense, so hopefully they've got some energy left for the game.
And speaking about the two teams, let's have a look at the rosters for this afternoon. For Old Boys University, fullback is Tom Henderson. The wings are Scotty Alexander and Kes Jansen. The midfield is Jack Green and Reece Plumtree. First five is Nick Mannix. 9 and the captain is Matt Fowler. 8 is Jason Fawcett. The two sixes, Tomosi Connor and Hamish Mansell. The locks are Frank Anderson and Liam Carroll Baldwin. And a late change in the front row. Balarangi Parata is a scratching. And so Tom Doyle will start in the 1 jersey. Barty Morgan is in 2. And Anton Matchik wearing 19. That's the front row. And the roster for Old Boys University this afternoon. The Takapuna Bombers, their roster. Fullback is Adam Southworth. The wings are Nate Archibald and Jordan Bolland. The midfield is Brett Phillips and Ariki Wood. First five is George Blackburn. 9 is Jackson Emframs. The captain and number 8 is Matt O'Brien. Drew Smith and Dan Smith are the flank partners. The locks are Jonathan Charlwood and Braden Smith. In the front row is Todd Milliken, Jinto Tomoda and Frank Faree. That is the two teams for this afternoon. Our referees are already out on the sidelines. Charlie Harris is the referee for today. Level 1 Premier referee here, formerly of the Manawatu. And 2 weeks ago he was named at their prize giving as the Level 1 most promising referee. And he'll be assisted this afternoon by Ben Van Berkel, another Premier referee, and Craig McWilliams. Conditions, only a slight northerly breeze, roughly about 18-20 degrees, and not a cloud in the sky. And here comes Takapuna onto the field, founded as a club in 1934. They are the North Harbour champions in the under-85 competition, back-to-back winners. They beat Massey in the final, 39 points to 20. Old Boys University, and what a season they have had in the capital. Winners of the Paul Potiki Shield, they beat Tawa 31-27, and they also won the first round, the JC Bowl. So both these teams, impressive seasons, but there can only be one winner today. The winner of this will go through to the final at North Harbour Stadium next Saturday.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see these two champion teams, the North Harbour champs and the Wellington champs, fighting what's going to be an exciting battle. Great weather for it. Great referees. Cannot wait.
And one of the coaches for Takapuna this afternoon is former All Black Robin Brooke. All Black number 924, 62 tests, 7 games. Made his debut against Ireland and Wellington back in 1992. And here comes Old Boys University onto the paddock, led out by Matt Fowler. The dynamic halfback that was on the Huddy Hui this week, talking about their rugby season and his transition from playing Premier to under-85. It shows that actually you don't need to go and play against 120 kg players every week. You can actually come and play under-85s and have some fun. And it's a fast game and a physical game at the same time, Ethan.
Yeah, it is, and I think it's wonderful to see. It's the under-85 grade could almost be similar to what T20's done in club cricket. It's kept people in the game. It's kept people interested. You can play a good game with your mates You don't have to be 110 kilos and 6'4". You know, rugby's a game for everyone, and that's what's most exciting to see.
Nick Mannix, the first 5 for Old Boys University. He's the son of former Wellington and Hurricanes player Tim Mannix, who's now the Director of Rugby out at St Patrick's College Silverstream. Charlie Harris checking on the Takapuna team. It'll be Old Boys University kicking to the southern end of Rugby League Park. And the match is underway, and Mannix kicks it deep towards the 22. And well taken by Takapuna. And early.
Good tackle.
Good tackle so far. 5 outside the 22. Loose ball, and it's been knocked on.
OBU really looking to put pressure on Takapuna early, right from the kickoff. It was a messy breakdown, and looks like Charlie Harris is going to blow time off for an injury. It was a hard-hitting tackle there. Well, I think it might have been...
What colours are we doing? Blue and... Blue-green. Blue-green. Yeah.
And that's important for the referees to distinguish who's who.
Well, one would think so.
Yeah, one would. I think they might have talked about it before the game. But look, it was a crunching tackle there by Morgan from OBU. He was a big influence in the final over Tara about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and stamping their mark early. And OBU have got a OBU have got a really good attacking opportunity now.
Well, that was Todd Milliken that was down receiving a bit of attention. Actually, no, sorry, it's Braden Smith in 4. So the 1 and 4 just look from our distance looks very similar. So it's going to be a scrum here for Old Boys University. Roughly 10 in from the eastern touchline, 5 outside the 22. Good attacking opportunity. When they played Pakuranga 2 weeks ago, they scored in the first 5 minutes through Reece Plumtree. So can they do that here again?
Backs are probably looking to set up a big move here as they've come down on this side. But the OBU backs are playing with a lot of depth, and Nick Mannix has been instrumental in leading that back line. Must be something in the genes.
Midfield for Old Boys University. You can see 2 of them on there. Jack Green and Reece Plumtree. Both of them products of Wellington College. Just a stone's throw away here from Rugby League Park. Good pressure from Takapuna, told to hold. Here's Mannix with the ball. Takes it himself, offloads it to Plumtree. High pass over the top, and Old Boys University will be the first team to score. And it's going to be Jensen, who's already the team's top try scorer this season, goes over and opens the scoring in the semi-final.
Well, it all started with that pressure from the kickoff, Brad. They got in early, they hit hard, they got the turnover, and a wonderful backline play from Mannix. He saw the gap, he got the offload away, and a wonderful pass there by Plumtree to score over in the corner. And now Mannix, after setting up the try, is now looking to add the next 2.
Great vision from Mannix. And it was Plumtree as well that took it into contact that drew in the Takapuna defence to allow Jensen to go over, product of Scots College. And here's Mannix to convert the try. It was interesting. That was noted by a cameraman. That was one of the moves they were doing in their warm-up there, Ethan.
Yeah, well, it clearly worked. It's clearly a good move that they've used from the training ground, and it split the defence. It opened up the gap, and they scored. So if OBU can keep doing that today, then, well, they're going to be a real danger inside Takapuna's 22.
So Mannix lines this up.
Just away.
Just the way it is. It looked like early on it was going to go through the middle, but not to be. And so the score will remain 5-0 to Old Boys University ahead of the Takapuna Bombers. 4 minutes gone in this first half. And of course, the journey for the Scallywags this season, Ethan, their first 2 round matches were wins by default. So in the competition, they really only got until they played Tara in round 3.
Yeah, they haven't played heaps of rugby this year if you look at it, but look, they did, apart from that kickoff, they've done really well this season.
Frank Anderson that time couldn't hang on to the ball when it's been knocked on. Frank Anderson, who made his debut for the OBU Premier side this year, has played 5 games for the Premier team, effectively known as the Billy Goats. And he knows something too about under 85 action. Of course, Frank Anderson played for the Carisbrook Bush Pigs, now called the Southern Bush Pigs. And they, in the last 2 seasons, have been the winners of this national under 85 competition. So he knows a thing or two of playing at finals rugby in this national tournament. Good feed by Ephraims. He passes it out to George Blackburn. Good, solid tackle. Midfield. 7 away from the 22. Into the hands of Tomolda. Good charge and a good roll. Look at this aggression from Takapuna. Pleading for a penalty. There's an errant hand in there.
He's just in front, he's got to roll first.
I agree with you, Charlie.
Number 5, you've fractured the clean out, you've got to go first.
I also don't agree with him, but we'll leave it there.
Well, not rolling away, and Blackburn has said that we will go for a shot at goal.
I actually thought Takapuna there were very good at manipulating that breakdown. I thought they actually held that number 5 in. But nonetheless, you've got to move, and he didn't move quick enough that time, did Frank Anderson. So Takapuna, after conceding that try early on, looking to add 3 onto the board. Tell you what, Brad, the first few minutes of this game seemed to mirror that game this morning a little bit. The All Blacks hit early on, and now there's a penalty in pretty much the same spot.
Pretty much.
Let's hope it's a better game, eh?
Let's hope so. This is no French roosters running around the field here at Rugby League Park.
Well, it's early days yet.
So Blackburn, straight down the middle. And 3 points on the board for George Blackburn. 5-3 is the score. Actually from England is George Blackburn, and they call him King George. And what has effectively been known is that after winning, they would put him in a chair, hold him up in the air, and sing God Save the King. Mannix with the restart. As for the shorter option this time. Well taken by Takapuna. Centre field with the ball. Good aggression by the captain, Matt O'Brien. An advantage has now been played against Old Boys University. Blackburn looks to cut open. Intercepted, but...
High tackle. Yeah, step up over the shoulder, high tackle.
So a high tackle up over the shoulder.
Yeah, good standard setter there from Charlie Harris. I think OBU, just be careful not to do that again. Like we saw, they had Takapuna stretched there, and they put some pressure in on the blind side, and there was an intercept there. So discipline today is going to be really important. It is finals rugby after all. And like the All Blacks showed today, if you've got poor discipline, you're going to struggle to win the game.
Well, looks like Frank Anderson is on the sideline here as a blood bin replacement. He's just getting some claret attended to in his nostrils. It seems to be flowing out, so... So some early physicality in this match. Well taken by Braden Smith. Midfield with O'Brien. Dynamic runner. Player of the year for the Takapuna Bombers this season. Of course, they dominated their clubs awards this season. Errant bounce to the ball, but knocked on, and Old Boys University lucky to survive there that time, Ethan.
Yeah, they got caught napping there. There was space in behind, and it was well spotted there by the Takapuna halfback, and they had a good chase on too, so OBU are going to have to be really careful with that. They left some space open for Takapuna to run, and like we've seen already, they're dangerous when they're in space.
So another scrum here for Old Boys University, this time inside their 22. 15 in from the eastern touchline. Good healthy crowd in the grandstand. Mannix tries to kick it over the top of Archibald.
Good boot.
Archibald, oh, he's just hung in there. He has, that's good magician work there. Dancing feet. Will do well with the New Zealand Royal Ballet. Plumtree trying to get over the top and turn it over. Picked up by Hood.
Oh,
Big hit coming in there, Bolin. He's only small, but he is quick. And he can tackle too.
Lucky to get away with that number 11. He went flying over that breakdown quite dangerously.
Blackburn, he's in a cut a cap. He's brought down, back in the hands of O'Brien. Takapuna building up nicely here. So, great aggression shown in this match so far. Oh, is that knocked on? Knocked backwards is the call from referee Harrison. Taken over by Old Boys University. And now Fowler passes it out to Henderson.
50-22 on here.
And it's got to bounce just outside the southern try line. Oh, pressure coming on back here.
Ooh.
Oh, is it bounced round? Oh, it's going to be a goal line drop here.
Yeah, I think the right call there by Charlie Harris. But that was wonderful pressure there from OBU by Jensen there. Like you say, there was space back there and OBU managed to manipulate it on that occasion. As we get ready for a goal line dropout.
Well, the bounce of the ball, jeepers, it can be your best friend at times. That time there, it was nearly Takapuna's not best mate.
Yeah, it's going to bounce like a tennis ball today too. The ground's rock hard. In front of the kick.
Oh, that's a cardinal sin.
That's a cardinal sin, and Stan Wright will be very happy once he's seen that, as will Zinni McCormick.
Those are two Wellington referees out to our listeners and viewers.
Probably more of an inside gag, that one, Brett. But no, Charlie Harris, once you've set it, once you've set your standards now, I'm pretty sure Takapuna won't be doing that again. So it's wonderful to see.
So Old Boys University with a scrum. Right in front of the posts.
It's been a wonderful battle, these two scrums as well. I think OBU have really held their weight, but Takapuna are trying to push them off. Great to see a good contest at scrum time.
Here we go, Fowler, ball in hand. They call in the unit. There was a nickname given to him by Dave Loveridge. They call Trapper. Off the back they go, force it. Down with Green. He's got to be held up over the line, is he? He is, and it's going to be another goal line dropout. Let's see if Takapuna don't do this one again, but there's a penalty.
Come my way. Yep. Come my way, 10 metres. Drop.
Backline,
number 12. Number 12 up early.
Yeah.
So number 12 that time, Brett Phillips was caught offside. And OBU are just going to put another scrum down again.
Yeah, probably a good call that. They held that scrum really well. I'm not sure if there was a bit of confusion there between Jason Fawcett and Matt Fowler there. But look, they didn't knock the ball on. They held on to it. And Takapuna conceding a penalty deep in their own end goal, so they're going to have to be careful of that too. And again, the backs, there's a 5-1, well no, they've stacked the open side actually. So maybe they're looking to put forward another move.
Another reset scrum. You see this a lot at this level because they're all the same weight. So scrums can be a little bit interesting at under 85 level.
They can be.
Here we go, Fowler. Good platform here for the Scallywags. Mannix awaits. He's got Green if he needs. Oh, that's a fancy around the loop offload. And Green managed to hang on. High pass. Back out again. Is he going to get 2 tries? He will. Jensen has 2 tries. And it's 10 points to 3 to the Scallywags.
And that's the second time OBU have manipulated the backline defence of Takapuna. There was 2 tries now, wasn't it, for Jensen? So that was fantastic play. Same corner. Wonderful support play. They looked after the ball. They set it up on both occasions. And OBU strike again.
Yet again, down in that same corner where they scored before.
Probably worth noting, that's only the second time they've been down here. It's the second time they've scored. So OBU really making the most of their chances early on.
It's great you've been able to watch this broadcast here on Huddy Sports YouTube. Much so. Jimmy Lawler's watching. He's a Wellington local around here. Great support of the under-85 competition. He's watching online as well as watching the Farrah Palmer Cup. At home, he just sent for a picture of his man cave.
Best place to be, I think. Watching rugby on all sorts of screens. Of course, it's a great sporting weekend this, Brad. We've obviously got the Warriors tonight, up the Wars. Cricket last night. Wellington had a good win, and there's Group 1 racing at Hastings at 4:30 as well. So it's a real sporting festival weekend as Mannix takes the conversion and he's pushed it out to the right. Can't quite bring it round, but OBU now extend their lead 10 points to 3.
So some scoring enterprise play. 2 tries to Jansen so far. There's also some UFC on tonight too. Cameraman is very excited about UFC.
I have to try and think of some other sports. There's probably some other ones we've missed as well, but wonderful to see such quality rugby here this afternoon on a wonderful spring day.
Here's Blackburn with the restart. Oh, well taken by Archibald, right outside the 22. Can they strike back? Here they go through their work. Reaching in, Ephrams. Blackburn offloads it back to Brett Phillips. This is his 3rd year in the team, and unfortunately, they've knocked the ball on.
It's good pressure by OBU. Wonderful take from the kickoff. They weren't offside that time.
Well, the blood-bin period's coming to an end, and Frank Anderson is just getting his jersey back from the player that was substituted by him. I think that might have actually been Josh McCauley that was on before, but we'll double-check that for you soon. Frank Anderson's back from his stay in the blood bin. So Fowler feeds, good push from Takapuna. Old Boys University secured at the back. Fowler decides to have a run, but he's been scragged to ground. Acting halfback is Carol Baldwin. They pick and go again, but this defence this time here by Braden Smith is outstanding. They have to release now. Fowler looks. Fires it back to Tom Henderson, the reliable boot from the fullback. And straight down into Adam Southworth. Ooh. Product of Rossmany College.
Yep. This might be a card here. There was an overlap on the outside. High risk, high reward.
So Reece Plumtree is off to the bin for 10 minutes.
Stuck his hand out. He wasn't quite in the best position to catch that ball, and Charlie Harris, rightfully so, gives a yellow card. I wonder how big of a blow that'll be for the Scallywags as George Blackburn kicks the ball out just outside, 5 metres outside the 22.
Now Reece Plumtree mainly plays for the Premiers. In the centre jersey, he's also the older brother of Tame Plumtree, who's now playing his rugby in Wales. Played a few tests for Wales before the start of the season. And we've also got people watching over in the United States of America. Jack Travella. Fortunately, no, we don't cover underwater hockey yet, Jack. Fowler, back to Mannix. Oh, charge down! But it's been picked up and...
It was offside. He's in an offside.
No one's played it. No, it's come off your guy's foot. No, he's in front. He's clearly in front.
Well, Matt Fowler interrogating Charlie Harris that time. Well known for being a bit of a talker.
Rather unfazed there, Charlie Harris. But look, he was in front of the ball and he did play it. So, yep, rightfully a penalty. But OBU have still got 8 in the scrum. So if they can use this as an opportunity to put some pressure on. The defence 2 weeks ago in the semi-final was outstanding. So I'm sure they're going to count on it again today.
Well, it certainly was outstanding defence. 20 minutes, the last 20 minutes of the second half. They kept Pakuranga out. So can their defence keep out Takapuna? The other semi-final on today at 2:45 is Grammar Tech versus High School Old Boys. Midfield with Blackburn. Battle stations here for the Scallywags. High pass out to Hood. Hood runs into Mannix. And loose ball, but picked up by Phillips again. It was actually knocked on by Old Boys University. And now they have to release. Reaching in. Pass comes. Good charge here by Jinto. Still with that advantage for the knock-on. Blackburn. Over the top to the speed, so that's Jordan Bolland. Bolland slams into the corner. Let's have a listen in.
Try.
Try has been given. Jordan Bolland, the brother of Jed Bolland, who's on the bench this afternoon for Takapuna. An interesting fact, you can see why he's quick and dynamic. In 2021, 200-metre sprint champion. So, plenty of speed out there on the wing for Takapuna.
Plenty of speed on both teams, Brad, and it did well there. Unfortunately, OBU with a player down in the back line, they were just caught napping a little bit. They tried to scramble, but unfortunately the one-on-one defence didn't quite work out on that occasion, and Takapuna now have an opportunity to level up this game.
So Blackburn with the conversion attempt this to lock up the scores. It's drifted away, so the Scallywags will still hold a 2-point lead, 10-8. 21 minutes gone in the first half here in this National Under-85 Cup semi-final.
Same again, Taka! Same again! Let's get out of here this time, boys! Let's go, Taka!
So Mannix with the restart. High kick, short option. Good contest, but picked up by Phillips and secured for the Bombers. O'Brien wrestled and a good tackle by Hamish Mansell. They pick and go and have a run. Solid tackle on Frank Foree 2 weeks ago when he played Paramahoe. He wore South African flag undies because he's South African, and 2 weeks ago they smashed the All Blacks.
Yeah, they did. It's best not litigate that again, but OBU again putting pressure on Takapuna at kick-off time. We've got a scrum inside Takapuna's half now on the 10-metre line, and a little bit further out from the try line than they'd like, but it wouldn't surprise me here if the backs try another fancy move here, Brad. So we see Mannix conferring with his second five and centre. Interesting to see Tomasi Connor in the back line. So
yeah, he was second five 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Also mainly plays for the Colts this year, Tomasi Connor. And of course, he's fullback or first five for them. So shows he can play anywhere.
Jack of all trades, wonderful to see. Probably see him playing prop later today.
Yeah, if it's possible.
Yeah.
Good feed from Fowler. Takapuna looked to press the scrum, but the ball comes out in time. Here's Mannix. Good. Oh, it's loose. But it's been picked up by Henderson. They've been driven back past halfway. Good counteract from Takapuna. Pleading for a penalty. But they've knocked it on. Good pressure from that counteract from Takapuna. And came up trups there, Ethan.
Yeah, it did. And again, OBU under pressure there. Takapuna trying to pounce on that loose ball. The backs just didn't quite have their cohesion there for OBU that time. And maybe that's a fact that Reece Plumtree isn't on the field still, and he's not going to be for another couple of minutes at least. But OBU at the moment are electing to have 7 in the scrum, so maybe that's why their scrum was under a little bit of pressure that time, and the backs may be a little bit jolted, but let's see what Takapuna does now.
Hit from Speeds, comes out to the lanky figure that is Blackburn. Good hit on Archibald. They gain good metres here to Takapuna. Head down and charge that time there by Tormolda. Good tackle that time on Milliken. Look, Faree just taking a while to getting back onto his feet. Nate Archibald again, rock and steady. Back of the year for Takapuna in 2023. And the counter-rucks come through. And the Scallywags have the ball. Fowler gives it out. Here he goes again, Jensen. Jensen tries to get around Southworth. And he's managed to keep it in touch somehow. Ball, advantage has been played. Fowler. It's like a little bowl of the Tempin bowling ball by Fowler that time to roll it forward. Roly-polies all galore here at Rugby League Park, but we're coming back for the penalty.
Takapuna off their feet at the breakdown there. They're going to have to be careful. There was a line break opportunity.
So, Keys Jensen, 2 tries already. But we're seeing here the wingers enjoying this great ground here at Rugby League Park. Plenty of space and speed on the field.
It's a day for the wingers, that's for sure, Brad. So we see OBU setting a line out. They've gone just inside the 22. If they can get clean ball, I'm sure the backs will have another crack at them here.
We just wait for the arrival of the rugby ball. Someone had to climb up one of the high terraces here at Rugby League Park. Back underway. Mansell couldn't quite control the ball, and Takapuna steal the ball from the line out inside the 22.
Could be a missed opportunity there from OBU.
Blackburn rolls over, metre short of the 22. Box kick comes in from Ephrams, who's the player of the year for Takapuna in 2023, one of the 2 players of the year. Here's Henderson, relatively quiet this afternoon, but he has a go. He gives the ball out to Scotty Alexander. He slips, and unfortunately he's knocked the ball on. There's the raging redhead mullet of Scotty Alexander. They also call him Scotty Do.
And you can see why an incredible do it is. And look, OBU there, I don't think they'll be too disappointed with that. They're in the right area of the field. They're still a player down. Plumtree hasn't still come back on, so as far as they're concerned, I think they're more than happy just to be eating up the clock here. They're at the right end of the field, and their scrum, even though they're electing to have 7 in the scrum, it's not too bad. So their defence seems to be holding out well again.
Scrum 5 metres in from the western touchline. Good platform. Ephrams fires it out with the hands of Phillips. Went down to the tackle. Pleased for a high tackle, but before the player was coming down.
Yeah, he fell into that. That's a good call there for Charlie Harris to play on.
Blackburn sees some open pastures. Offloads it. Here's Jensen again with the ball.
Couldn't find support on that occasion.
And they look to hold him up, but they have to release him now. Fowler. Out to Jason Fawcett. Formerly played for the Upper Hutt Rams for about 5-6 years. Made the move out to OBU this year.
Terrible beer pong player too, Jason.
They can go from the Scallywags. 6 away from the line. Fowler surveys the options. There's Mannix if he needs his size to change direction. Out to Anderson. Offload to Henderson. Henderson! Ball comes out to the ranging lock.
Oh, he lost it.
Liam Carroll Baldwin, but he's lost the ball.
Oh. Just a metre short. Just couldn't quite hang on to the ball there. As Reece Plumtree comes back onto the field. OBU are now back to 15 on a full scrum. Tell you what, Brad, this is incredibly exciting and not even half an hour gone yet.
Oh, it's been a great game so far, the semi-final. Everything's happening here at Rugby League Park. You feel the tension, the drama, the exhilaration. And so the Takapuna Bombers with the scrum, 5 away from their own try line. Scrum's just a bit unstable. Now we're broadcasting up here from on top of the terraces at Rugby League Park. They haven't had the weed eater up here for a while, so it's a bit of weeds surrounding the commentary box. But when we were last here, Ethan, back in about June, there was a horse that came down here.
Yeah,
so they might need the horse to come back and actually eat some of this grass. Wouldn't surprise us if he makes an appearance this afternoon.
Yeah, well, let's hope it doesn't. It's a little bit tight up here, and of course the sun doesn't see this side of the ground, so it's a bit boggy as well. But Takapuna there look to steady it up. I'm sure they'll kick it out.
There's no horsing around here. They're going to get rid of this ball quickly. And here goes Blackburn. Kicks it high.
Still inside the field of play.
Alexander does well inside to Henderson. Quick space. Here's Plumtree with the ball. Great physicality. Centre field right on the 22. Fowler loses possession as the counter-ruck came through from Takapuna, and here they go with the ball in hand. Braden Smith wrestled to ground. 5 outside their 22 now. Adam Southworth's kick has gone out on the full. Let's have a listen here.
Yeah.
I think we're going back to the knock-on.
Knock-on.
So there was the knock-on first.
Yep, no advantage there, played by Charlie Harris. So OBU, Matt Fowler there, just a little bit slow in getting that ball out, and I think one of the Takapuna players bumped Jason Fawcett into him, knocking the ball out of his hands. So maybe a little lapse in concentration there by Matt Fowler. But look, OBU, they're still in the right area of the field. Takapuna haven't really gained that much. They've only gained about 20 metres in the one phase, so I'm sure they'll look to put more pressure on them here.
Solid scrum for Takapuna. Blackburn out to Phillips. Big tackle met by his opposite number, Jack Green. His brother Sam previously played for OBU, and then Johnsonville now playing over in the UK. Phillips again. Good offload.
Equally good defence too.
Pleased to get out of here. Comes from the bench. Fowler steals the ball like a thief in the night.
Great turnover.
Gives it out to Matchik. Here's Fawcett again. Head down and charging. Fowler surveys. Out to Tomosi Connor. And there's advantage being played here for the Scallywags. Fawcett again. Takes into contact. Looks to pass but knocks the ball on.
Probably didn't need to pass on that occasion to force it.
Never on. Never
Offside again.
Number 8, never back.
So that time there, Matt O'Brien caught offside. This is a penalty directly in front of the posts, and as you like, they'll signal a shot at goal.
Yeah, probably a slightly easier kick for Mannix on this occasion. He's had 2 from the sideline that he's missed, but look, a really good chance for OBU to get out to a 5-point lead here.
Sound of the Qantas plane leaving Wellington Airport. We're carrying a few New Zealanders over to Australia. Here's Mannix with the ball, lining this up. Scored 7 points in the quarter-final 2 weeks ago. And he's the founder of the Scallywags, as I found out on the Huddy Hui on Thursday night with Matt Fowler.
Yeah, I hadn't realised that. Of course, the Mannix name notorious with the Petone Club. As Mannix kicks the 3 points and OBU get out to a 13-8 lead.
So, important penalty that time there for Old Boys University. Takapuna really need to be the next team to score to continue some momentum into the second half, which is only 6.5 minutes away.
I'm sure OBU will like to do the same thing. I'm sure they'd like to get some more points just before half-time to go into the sheds with a big confidence boost. They've controlled this game really well, and Takapuna have only been dangerous when Reece Plumtree was off the field. So another close kick-off. These kick-off contests have been fantastic today, Brad.
Oh, they've been brilliant. And Takapuna, they've been doing the better of them at the moment. But this time, ball was knocked on the ground. So it's going to be a scrum here for Old Boys University.
Of course, you also mentioned, Brad, Jason Fawcett coming out from Upper Hutt. So did number 21, Logan McKinder, and Tom Mallender, a couple of guys I went to school with, and obviously Upper Hutt and Avalon. A few clubs didn't quite get an under-85 team together this year, so it's wonderful to see teams picking up players from outside different areas.
Well, Frank Anderson is having to come off again as more blood is coming out of his nose. So another stay in the blood bin. He receives a bottle with someone that you know that plays in this team. Ethan, he's not playing today, though.
Yep, one S. Loveridge. The can of low-carb beer in his hand. I actually came here because he found himself a new lady companion, and I thought I'd give the feedback back to my mother as to whether she's any good or not. But so far, I haven't seen her. He's had a few injuries this year, has Simon, and just a few weeks ago had a bit of an accident with a crowbar and had to get some staples in his face. I thought it was a vast improvement, personally.
As you would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not worried about the crowbar. Here we go. Fowler gives it out to Maddox. Good pass. It's been knocked backwards, so Alexander has to tidy up. And look at that red mullet go flying down the touchline. Throws it in, and it's still there for the Scallywags. And they look to hold him up to Takapuna. And the ball's come available for Fowler. Good counter-ruck again from Takapuna. Coming through the gate, and they're doing very well in this department.
They are.
The Bombers. And advantage is coming here again for...
High tackle, no number.
So another high tackle again. Just one of those, what they call the sternum tackles there, Ethan. It's been in rugby in 2023, a new area that's been policed in domestic rugby.
Yeah, it is, and I think it's actually been policed very well. I might be biased when I say that, but look, it's. I think everyone struggled a little bit at the start of the year, and I think everyone slowly started to pick up on it, and I think it's a wonderful incentive because at the end of the day, it is all about player safety. And look, the tackle heights have been better, the game's been safer, and we've seen today, look, the ball's being kept alive, there's wonderful running rugby being played. There's subs being made for OBU.
Yes, jersey 21 is coming onto the field. That is Logan McKinder, and it looks like one of the OBU players is down in back play, not looking too well. We'll try and identify the number for you. I think it might be one of the front rowers, but we'll double check that. Real concern being shown.
There's a bit of shuffling going around from the Scallywags. See a few people can play some different positions. Might be a little bit of a rib tickler.
Yes, it's Anton Matchik, the oldest in the team, the American who's making his way to the sideline. And so time's going to be back on here at Rugby League Park. Less than 4 minutes to go.
OBU in a good opportunity here. If they go for a short line out.
So, line-out time for the Scallywags. The beautiful conditions of the Wellington City. Here we go, Tamasi Connor. Out to Mannix. High pass picked up by Fawcett. Takapuna looked to turn it over, and they have. Excellent
work. A little bit isolated there was Fawcett.
Ariki Hood with the great turnover. And, oh,
good
big
pressure
hit.
Again. Offside.
Number 12, Green, offside. Come my way a little bit.
So number 12, Green, that time offside. Jack Green works at Momentum Recruitment. His boss is one of the former Premier players, Ian Kennedy, the brother of former Hurricane Ross Kennedy.
Good shit.
So, Takapuna with the line out inside Old Boys University territory. 11 metres inside. They'll be desperate to get some points on the board here before half-time.
Yeah, they will. OBU were just a little bit eager there. They've conceded the penalty, and again, good clean ball off the line out for Takapuna.
Good charge again by O'Brien. They charge forward again through Hood. Pleased that did he actually release the ball? Play on is the call from referee Harris. Good charge again by Milliken. Oh, good battering ram here by Takapuna. Really putting on the pressure. An advantage has been played here against the Scallywags. Archibald rolls. Ball comes out into the hands of Dan Smith.
Oh, he's got that.
15, offside. Midfield on the 22. Yep.
So offside again by OBU. They were under an advantage, but they did really well in trying to win that ball back, and they did that a number of times 2 weeks ago. It looks like there's a Takapuna player down on this near sideline.
There's been a few players go down injured at the moment. Looks like jersey 18, Paulie Tuffer, is coming on.
It's been a very physical game, and there's still 40 minutes to go, Brad. So,
Well, he's not on just yet. He's just waiting to see. So, time off and less than a minute to go as we wait for the welfare of the Takapuna player that is down. Now, of course, very soon, in 4 minutes' time, the other semi-final will kick off. It is Grammar Tech versus High School Old Boys Light Bears, and that has been played at Oraki Domain there in Auckland. And our good friend Bev from Bev Broadcasting will be bringing you that game. I think you can find that on his Facebook page. One here, time is just about to be back on. And a shot at goal here for Takapuna.
yep, sensible decision, I think. Less than a minute to go till half-time, and they'll get slightly closer. So, of course, we are on a walking track back here, Brad, so...
Yes, we just had a bit of a cameo appearance. Penalty is successful. 13-11, 2 points in it. Still time to play here at Rugby League Park.
I'm sure OBU will still be hungry to get this ball back from the kickoff to potentially try and get another score themselves.
Well, it's a game that has been played with great physicality, just like playing Monopoly. The restart from Mannix has absolutely been shanked and hasn't gone 10. And so it's going to be a scrum on halfway for Takapuna.
Not what OBU wanted. So I suspect they'll try and find a way to get this ball into touch as quickly as they can.
Good crowd here watching this semi-final. The Scallywags have been blessed to be able to play at home this year in this competition, yet to go on the road.
Yeah, well, they had a couple of defaults in the earlier rounds as well, didn't they, Brad? So haven't really had a chance to go anywhere. I know they went down south last year in a semi-final as Takapuna were awarded a free kick for an early push.
Yes, they narrowly lost to the Southern Bush Pigs by 7 points in the playoff last year with the Scallywags. So they've gone one better. They've made the semi-finals. And Takapuna wrestling with the ball, looking for a turnover.
Yep, they've got it. Well done. Great turnover there by OBU. A big play and a big moment. Suspect they'll probably just kick it out and go to the sheds, but no, it looks like Mannix might be looking for a line out here. They're still going to play.
There's one thing about the Scallywags team is they don't give up. They keep fighting, and they'll keep playing.
And fair play to them too.
So the ball in the hands of Tom Doyle, the youngest in the team. Noted for playing full 80 this year. He was actually supposed to be on the bench, but withdrawal of Parata means that he's out there today, starting in the 1 jersey. Well, that time there, McKinder went to pass, but he was interfered, so there's advantage being played here for the Scallywags.
To me. Offside, where you are.
Well, what do they do here? Shot at goal, Ethan?
Well, I'm sure it's within Mannix's range. It's not the easiest of kicks, but I don't see it can do any harm. And it looks like they are going to go for a shot.
Yeah, so shot at goal to close out the half.
Of course, you never know. It could bounce off the post and go back the opposite way, and we might still be playing. But I'm sure OBU would love 3 points here.
Stranger things do happen in rugby. Bounce the ball. Sometimes not be your best friend. Speaking about loyal people to clubs, and just down on halfway is Brad O'Houlihan, known as Patches O'Houlihan, long-serving manager of the OBU Premier team. Didn't want to join the broadcast this year as he's busy making up his CV to be the manager of the All Blacks next year. He's really pushing hard for that job. I reckon he'll be great at it.
Fair enough. I'm sure he'd be fantastic at it. Without people like Brad, our game doesn't exist, does it? So wonderful to see Brad supporting the Scallywags as well.
Hush around the ground comes through, and Mannix has got the distance, and it sails through. 16-11 at half-time, and the Scallywags are ahead, but it's been a fast pace and physical first half of under-85 rugby.
Yeah, I think OBU will be pretty happy with that first half. They probably just need to hold on to the ball a little bit better. They've probably, obviously they're up on the scoreboard, but I think they're probably up slightly over Takapuna at the moment. And Takapuna trying hard. They've made the most of their opportunities, but OBU have really pressurised them in their own half. So it'll be interesting to see what happens at half-time as the teams switch around. And both teams have a much-deserved drinks break because it's been fast. It's been hard. The sun's still out, and I'm sure it's not easy out there for the players.
Well, we'll be back in roughly 5 minutes for the second half. See you soon. Welcome back to Rugby League Park, half-time coming to an end. 16-11 here in this New Zealand Rugby National Under-85 Cup semi-final. The Scallywags ahead of the Bombers at the moment, 16-11. As the second half is about to get underway. Late change just before half-time. Dan Smith, the number 6 for Takapuna, went off injured. Second half is underway, and Takapuna kicked the ball to the southern end. Knocked back that time by Mansell. And Takapuna, they've been winning the battles at the restarts, and they come up here with the scrum feed.
Yeah, they have. It wasn't taken cleanly by OBU, and the ball was unplayable there, so they now get a scrum, very similar to where OBU were at the start of the first half. And they'll have a good attacking opportunity here as we see another scrum being packed down. It's been a wonderful contest, the scrum so far. I'm sure we'll see more of that in the second half.
16-11. Takapuna with the first attacking opportunity of the second half. Ephraim's out to Blackburn. Phillips rolled around in the tackle of Tomasi Connor. Brought down, fall short of the 22. High pass out to Milliken. Good defence so far from the Scallywags. Here's a charge from Tuffer. A change of direction again. Slow coming is the ball. And the push bin comes in from All Boys University. Blackburn, secured by Matt O'Brien. Just get the sense that defence is going to tighten up big time in this second half.
Takapuna are still going backwards. They haven't actually, apart from this occasion, they haven't got over the advantage line just yet. As they hug that blind side.
Oh, and Blackburn nearly cutting through again. He's been impressive today. Here's George Blackburn. King George, they call him as well. Southworth at acting halfback out to Tuffer.
Good counter from OBU there.
Well, excellent work, and they've actually turned it over as well. Great work from the forwards. Fowler back to Henderson. And Henderson, with an almighty boot, puts this safely into touch. And that's good metres gained there from the fullback.
Over 40, or close to 40 metres there, and wonderful defence again by the Scallywags, and that's what they pride themselves on. And just while we've got a moment, Brad, I'd just like to say hello to our good friend and fellow Premier referee, Jamie Fairwood.
Tom Henderson is noted in the quarter-final. He kicked a 50-22. It was more like an 80-22. It was an impressive one. Free kick against Old Boys University. It's like they were lifting early. So, tapping a run. And here's Tuffer again. Look at him go. Fresh energy on the field for the Bombers. Ephraim's has a run and looks around. Ball still there for Takapuna. Tuffer again. This guy's a machine. He's got a huge engine. O'Brien picks and goes. The hands off to Mulder. An advantage has been played here against the Scallywags.
Drop goal.
Drop goal.
Not quite.
Just left. Put him down. Yeah, and tackle.
Matt Fowler was more worried about if the drop goal went over.
Either way, there's a good chance they're going to concede 3 points either way. So just a little bit of a discipline there from OBU. I'm sure they'd be a little bit disappointed with that. The defence has been superb, and a little bit of a tip tackle there.
Penalty attempt here for Blackburn. He's known by his teammates as one hell of a nice guy. So he lines this one up. Calm and comfortable. And straight through the middle. Then it's back to 2 points, 16-14. Nearly 5 minutes gone in this second half.
Wonderful support here for the Scallywags. I'm sure the support's only going to get louder as the game goes on.
The restart. Well secured that time there by Braden Smith. Roughly 8 out from the 22. Northern end of Rugby League Park. Here's Blackburn. Decides to have a run. Slow coming as the ball. Hepfrom decides to have a kick downfield. Chasing back after it is Jensen, but he just watches it go into touch.
Yeah, he probably didn't quite read it that well that time, Jensen. Wasn't a 50-22.
Well, the other semi-final has been going for 10 minutes. And it's high school old boys that are ahead of Grammar Tech at the moment, 10-0. As we have time off here, as there's a quick change of a rugby boot for one of the players. It looks like it might be Frank Faree. Obviously, I think they brought the wrong studs down from Auckland, so someone's complaining about how uncomfortable they are.
Yeah, well, thankfully, one of the team supporters and management bought a spare pair. Unfortunately, they're obviously not quite the right size.
So, Frank Faree, Ox is back onto his feet. A quick change of his boots. And it's going to be a line out here for Old Boys University.
Hasn't been their strong point in the line out, OBU, and same again, they've won one against the throw.
Yeah, that time Frank Anderson couldn't secure it, so Takapuna have the ball. It looks like it's been turned over again. Yes, Old Boys University have turned it over.
By Tomasi Connor there.
Tomasi Connor is having a great game. Man, he played second 5 2 weeks ago. He's now playing in the flanks. Henderson, cross kick. Scotty do, it's dangerous time. Plumtree does well to stop the Takapuna player. Advance towards the 22. Takapuna looking to get a try, to put them in the lead for the first time this afternoon.
And OBU win a penalty under pressure. Pats on the back all round. I think that might have been Plumtree there.
Well, great work from the defence of Old Boys University.
Really, really well done at getting themselves out of jail there as Mannix looks to try and get this out of their own half. They've hardly had the ball, Old Boys University. Hopefully they can sort their line-out issues out because I'm sure these backs will be looking to run it.
So a place in the final is at stake. North Harbour Stadium awaits next week, next Saturday. There's a line out here for Old Boys University. Can they secure it this time? There's Messi again. It's a contest. And Takapuna have the ball. Tougher out to Blackburn. Loose pass. Plumtree's racing up. And he can't slow down the advancement of Bolland. And Phillips receives the pass from Bolland. And it's been lost forward and turned over. And Plumtree kicks it downtown. Chasing after it is Jensen. Can he get there? Aaron bounces the ball. Plumtree picks it up. And he'll be brought down 5 short of the 22. 7 in from the western touchline. Logan McKinder advances it further into the 22. Battle stations for the Bombers. Henderson, wild pass out to Mannix. He has to tidy up. Fowler reassesses, gives it out to Tomasi Connor. Smashed by Tuffer in the tackle. Manages to stay on. Releases the ball and has another go. Right back at the 22 again. Henderson out to Jensen. 2 tries so far this afternoon. Takapuna pleading for the penalty, but it's not coming. Fowler, the little unit, wiggles out of a tackle.
Side entry and a clear left. Yeah.
Nearly a carbon copy of what Old Boys University did down the other end of the field. Takapuna that time getting themselves out of jail. OBU looked really cohesive in that phase of play, Brad.
They certainly did. And we're going to have time off here again as the player that's down for Takapuna. And time's back on again. We're going to continue. So here we go. Van Berkel makes the mark on the touchline. Takapuna line out. 15 metres away from halfway on the western touchline here at Rugby League Park. Gorgeous day here in the capital city. We've been blessed with a week of sunny weather. It's almost a bit like summer this week here in Wellington. You wouldn't recognise it. Secured by Anderson.
That time OBU winning the ball.
So Fawcett charges again. He's a workhorse. Is this number 8? The 2 number 8s, O'Brien and Fawcett, have been powerful this afternoon. But the ball's been knocked on and Fowler looks despondent. He doesn't know what has happened. And Charlie Harris said, yes, you knocked it on.
Yeah, they did. Well, that was a good run by Jason Fawcett there. He just couldn't quite hang on to the ball, and Takapuna again getting themselves out of jail after losing the line out. This is a really great contest so far. As it looks like there's been a bit of a shuffle in the OBU scrum. Fawcett goes into loose head prop. From number 8.
Ephrams feeds the scrum. Good push. Looks like Mansell came off early, but play on is the call. The kick goes downtown to Henderson. Henderson surveys, looks, kicks it high up in the air, does the Gary Owen. Well taken by Tomota. Passes it out to Skipworth. Can he hang on? It's been knocked on, is it? And Old Boys University pounce. Here we go. The Scallywags on attack again. McKinder out to Tomosi Connor. Probably be up there as one of the hard-working players of this semi-final. Fawcett manages to hang on. Loose ball. Tied it up. Broken open. Barney Morgan! Could sail over and score! Ooh. He slams into the post. He scored! Barney Morgan nearly been split in half. Hits the padding. There's not much to the little man.
It looks like he might be, oh no, he might be down here, Brad. That was a big hit, and the Takapuna player, Jonathan Charwood, might also be in a spot of bother.
Oh, they're both down, both of them receiving attention. That was a heavy collision.
It just shows you, Brad, that both teams are just so desperate. They'll put the body on the line.
Well, Barney Morgan.
Let's hope they're okay.
He's a product of St. Pat's Town. Used to play under 65s on the back line. The team that I used to manage back then. But he's back on his feet. And how important is that going to be?
Well, it's a great try. He might come off, actually.
And Ephrams is back onto his feet. That is good news for Takapuna. Ephrams is going to be important for the rest of this game. So, 21-14. And Mannix lining up the conversion attempt.
Crucial, this. It goes over, and now OBU extend their lead, and Takapuna now are going to have to score twice to get that lead back.
Still plenty of time left in this semi-final. Still just under half an hour to go. And so still time here for Takapuna to fight and get back into this semi-final. We have time off again and plenty of stoppages here in this opening 12 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, there are. I'm sure the players won't mind that, though. It's obviously quite late in the season, and both teams have had plenty of injuries, so I'm sure they're just trying to suss out who's going to play where and who's going to do what as Takapuna kick off.
The restart. Anderson secures the ball. They finally won a restart here, Old Boys University. It's one year of their game this afternoon. They haven't done so well.
No,
Holding on.
And that time there, they're isolated. They tap and go.
it's intercepted.
Intercepted, but there's another penalty.
Not 10. They'll have to be careful here, OBU, about their discipline.
Wow, that time they were very lucky, and it could have been that speedster Green that could have gone through, but unfortunately they went back 10.
It's 2 in a row. They're going to go for a line out here. They're going to try and get a try here.
Well, it's actually a good decision to go for the line and go for the try, because they do need to be, as you said before, they need to score twice, and they need to do that pretty quickly.
They do, and that's fair enough. Maybe I'm a little bit old school and take the 3 in finals rugby, but it's probably why I don't play anymore, Brad.
It's a conservative play.
Yeah.
Oh, messy line out, knocked on. Force it off the back, shuts one out of the way. Then he's got to be brought down a metre short of the 22. We'll come back for the knock on. Scrum for the Scallywags. And the other semi-final, that one's roughly about 19 minutes into its first half. It's still 13-0 to High School Old Boys over Grammatech. This ground, it's 23-14.
Fantastic game of rugby we've got. It's hard to believe there's still 25 minutes to go. A lot of rugby to be played.
Well, it's a good thing about under 85 rugby. It's, I don't know, is it rate restricted, but it's played speed. You get to see some great moves, and it keeps the players in the game as well. It's one of the good things about this national comp is it gives players that often don't get an opportunity to play at the higher level. They've got something else to play for, particularly a national trophy.
It is, and it's a wonderful advertisement for rugby as a sport. I think had my playing continued, I would have loved to have played in this grade. Of course, I was lucky enough to referee the Division 1 final in 2018. I think you might have been there as well, Brad. It went to extra time between the Rams and the Avalon Wolves.
It certainly did. It was
out at Fraser Park.
Yeah, I think it went nearly 2-10s, and then it was nearly extra time added on sudden death as well, wasn't it?
Not quite.
Not quite, no.
That was the other final, but they kept, I think, extra time had finished, and we'd Upper Hutt were just hammering the line, and they scored, and that was an incredible day that day.
Here we go, Fowler. Good push from Takapuna. They look to twist it around, but the ball's come available for Old Boys University. They look to secure it.
No one knows where it is.
No. Well, it looks like it potentially is still there for Old Boys University.
Partially charged.
Partially charged, so no offsides. Here he goes, Bolland, and they just clip her around the ankles. Good work there that time by Jeffro early. High pass out to Southworth. Box kick comes through. Oh, look at this. Aaron bounced to the ball. And the two wingers sort each other out. Archibald slammed to the turf. Here's Tougher. Looks, gives it out to Ephraims. Here's Blackburn. They stretch them now. Good work by Hood. It's on the dancing shoes. Oh, the counteract coming through from Old Boys University. Not that time.
Side. This could be a warning here.
Taking out the halfback. Here they go. They're over. Nate Archibald scores. And they're back in this fight.
They sure are, Brad. OBU a little bit of discipline there on their own goal line, and they were stretched, and good decision there by the halfback to take it quickly and spread it wide. That's where the space was. And OBU now get a chance to regather, because Takapuna are now right back in this game.
Well, great try by Nate Archibald. Continue on his fine form. Here's George Blackburn. Here we go. Blackburn strikes. Easy as you like. And now we're back to 2 points again, Eve.
Yeah, we are, and there's still 22 odd minutes to go. I just can't help but wonder if OBU are just starting to look a little bit tired.
Well, it's been a game that's just been played at fast pace, and they may have to look at putting on some other subs maybe soon. They've already used a lot.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many they've actually got left, but Takapuna have made the most of their subs as Mannix looks to kick off. It's a short one again. Good kick. No, not quite.
No, not to be. So it's going to be a scrum on halfway for Takapuna.
High risk, high reward kick off there by Mannix.
Ivor Marsh in jersey 17 is on for Takapuna. Adam Skip Southworth's afternoon has come to an end. The fullback for Takapuna. So it's been a bit of change in the back line as well. 21, Jed Bolland is on the wing. That will send his brother Jordan Bolland back to fullback. Good feed, out the back they go. O'Brien, look at this, is a great run. Here they go, they kick it infield. Plumtree and Henderson chiding back. He's surrounded, and they look to drag him over the try line, but a penalty.
High tackle.
High tackle. High tackle.
Clearly above the line of the chest there, and OBU get a chance to breathe a sigh of relief. They were doing this 2 weeks ago.
Well, that's right, and they were very lucky there, Old Boys University, as they're under all sorts of pressure.
They were. They let the halfback run from the scrum there.
There we go. Mannix kicks it into touch, line out. Roughly 12 away from the 22. Approaching the halfway stage of the second half. Short line out, but it's been knocked backwards. Fowler has to tidy up. Past infield to force it.
Oh, I'm not sure about that one. Is that a forward pass?
I believe so. Call came through from assistant referee Ben Van Berkel.
20 minutes to go. We've got players cramping already.
Well, it's been such a tough encounter. 2 for Takapuna down. Looks like Tough is just receiving some massage from his teammates on his calves.
Wow, fitness such a key element in this. Takapuna are cramping now. Is that going to affect them as this game goes on? As we see Tom Mallender on the field, we were told on the Huddy Hui this week that his shoulders are broken and he's slowly falling apart, but he's out there now.
Well, there's a thing called duct tape. That works pretty well.
Oh, clearly it works.
Here we go.
What time did you guys get home? I got home at
Someone went out late last night. Here we go. Scrum for Takapuna. It's a good, powerful one. Here goes Blackburn. Oh, they've cut them open! Nearly through was Hood. That was great play. They're now 5 away, centre field. Smith charging forward. Battle stations out for the Scallywags. They haven't been under much pressure, but they are under it now. They pick and go again. Driven back in the tackle. Fawcett doing well. They got numbers here. They stretch it out. And they're over. And just like that, Hood scores. And Grim and Takapuna are ahead for the first time in this match.
They sure are. They stretched the OBU defence again. They were caught napping and they score in the eastern corner. I'll tell you what, this game's still got plenty of life in it. This is going to be a really exciting last 18 minutes or so.
So Blackburn with the conversion. And Old Boys University in a huddle. A forensic examination going on and how they've got to keep themselves in this fight.
Well, yeah. Could almost say that stemmed from the kickoff not going 10, Brad. It's the second time that's happened today. I'm sure they can fix that pretty quick. They've hardly had the ball, Old Boys University, as the conversion is missed.
So 3 points separate these two teams. Takapuna in the lead for the first time. Do the Scallywags have enough gas in the tank?
There's a change of kicker here. Tom Henderson taking the kick off this time.
He took over a lot in the quarterfinal too, about the midway
It's
stage.
another mistake. Change of kicker hadn't worked today. Hadn't worked this time.
Look at that passion from the bench from Takapuna. They are just all on their feet, on fire.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you be? Scallywags just aren't quite clinical enough at the moment. It's an 80-minute game. Certainly don't want to let Takapuna in again this time, because at the moment the game could slip away from them very quickly.
So yet again, this is possibly third or fourth scrum on the centre field this afternoon for Takapuna. Restarts have not gone that well for the Scallywags. Here we go, the scrum feed. Ephraim's at the back. Blackburn finds and kicks downtown. No one home there for Old Boys University. And Henderson can't get back there in time, so they're going to have a line out inside there. 22, that's good vision there from Blackburn.
Yeah, it was too. Scrum was inside halfway.
50-22.
Don't think there's a ball. I think it might have disappeared down the bank.
So we just have to wait for the arrival of a new rugby ball. Surely there's more than one around the ground here.
There is. I can see one right there.
Oh, there is one.
They haven't quite realised.
Someone's gone down the bank and retrieved the ball. And now we've got two balls on the field. There we go.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah. There we go. Back underway. Line out for Takapuna from that 50-22. Been secured, and now they drive forward again. A try here. One would think we'll probably lock it up. They pick and go forward again. Here they go. Blackburn looks, offloads it, but it's been knocked on. So knocked on. So the Scallywags survive another scare.
They do. Still under pressure though. Be interesting to see what they do here, or whether they'll try and set it up again before they kick it out, or whether they'll try and kick it from the scrum. Depend on the platform the forwards give them.
So the Scallywags, a scrum 5 away from their own line. Entering the final quarter of the semi-final. Have they got enough in the tank, do the Scallywags? Fowler feeds.
Oh, that's popped up.
Front rows come up, it's a penalty! Front row standing up is the call from referee Harris.
Real momentum swing now. Takapuna have been playing all the rugby.
What do they do here? Scrum, or do they go for a shot at goal? Scrum is called.
Fair enough. It's a superb scrum, that last one, so why not put another one down?
We're on the other semi-final. That one has got about 10 minutes left in the first half, and it's still high school Old Boys ahead 13-0.
Yeah, we should be on the 5, because that previous one was on 5.
Scrum here for Takapuna. They won it. A penalty from OBU's feed. Can they strike? They charge forward. Look at this.
A pushover scrum here.
O'Brien lunges.
He's short.
He's
Try.
got it down. We've seen it here on our screen. It's a try. What an important try. And the captain strikes for Takapuna.
Well, you don't see that too often in Premier Rugby, let alone weight-restricted rugby. A pushover scrum. OBU just couldn't handle the pressure at that particular moment. And Takapuna now get out to an 8-point lead with a kick to come.
Well, he picked up a bit of a niggle there, the Matt O'Brien, but he's back on his feet. And how important is this? This conversion goes over. It's a 10-point lead.
Again, it probably stems from that kick-off era. Shooting themselves in the foot slightly, the Scallywags. They expect better of themselves. Still a long way to go, though. A lot can happen in 12 minutes.
And he's actually been assisted from the field now, Matt O'Brien.
Instrumental, Matt O'Brien. This kick goes over. Takapuna, who have had a bit of a resurgence in the second half, get out to a 10-point lead.
So, all to play for. Can Old Boys University tidy up their restarts? Mannix has taken the ball back. Here we go. He goes for the high option. But it's taken again by Braden Smith. Hetfrin's back to Blackburn. Nearly Tomasi Kana got the ball, but no avail. Here's Mannix, skip dancing. Looks to go himself, offloads it to Alexander. And he'll be brought down just short of the eastern touch line. And it's gone into touch, no.
Penalty not rolling away, they take it quickly, does Fowler.
Well, that's good enterprise by Matt Fowler. Got to speed this game up to work in their favour. Good hit on Jeffro early. Fowler goes again, changes direction.
High tackle under advantage.
Tomasi Connor charges down.
High tackle on the 10, just outside the 15. Yep.
So another high tackle. So the Scallywags, they'll look to boot this down into the 22. Now, if you probably noticed, folks, who's watching at home, that Old Boys University have two players wearing 6. Halfway through the season, they lost one of their teammates. Tom Murray sadly passed away. He was their number 7, so they've retired the jersey in his honour.
Yep, you feel for the Scallywags, there's a lot more to play for than just a spot in the Under-85 Cup final group.
Secure by Anderson. And they charge forward. Here it goes.
Still going.
Still going is this drive, but it's finished now. Frank Henderson picks and goes himself. Here in hand there from Takapuna. And the Scallywags having to do some hard grind. They go again. Still 5 metres away. Here's Fawcett. An advantage has been played.
Braden Smith guilty of being offside there.
They're only 2 metres away from the line now. The Bombers. Can they keep out the Scallywags? A good run again. They hold him up just short of the line. There's Connor at the back. He'll have a run. Still playing under advantage.
Offside.
So the penalty is offside. So just look for a tap and a run here by the Scallywags.
Yep, they need to score now. Closer to the post, the better.
Here we go. The defence, he moves, force it, rolls. He's going to be short of the chalk. They hold him up. Fowler looks, gives the answer to Mossy Connor.
Yes.
Connor's in.
Try.
Try time for the Scallywags.
Great patience there shown by the Scallywags. Wonderful little wraparound move from the quick tap. Matt Fowler got the ball back and he just took his time. He didn't pass too early. He let his backs get set up. And Tamasi Connor, who's had a fantastic game, earns a well-deserved try.
Has he what? He was solid on defence 2 weeks ago at second five, and today on the flanks doing a sterling job. And Mannix lining up this conversion.
Really needs this to go over, Brad. If he gets it over, it'll be a try to win.
Boys, they look tired. They look tired, boys. They've done. They've done. They've given everything.
Words of encouragement there from someone.
Yes, Jimmy Lawler reckons it could come down to the 80th minute. Here we go, Mannix
It's
strikes.
over.
And we're back to 2 points. Oh,
Now,
3 points,
is
actually.
That the resurgence OBU need. As Takapuna, some of them are taking their time back to halfway, but how big of a confidence boost will that be for the Scallywags? Can they nail this restart?
It's going to be important. They don't want to get Takapuna stuck down inside their own territory, OBU. They want to get out of here quickly.
Who will step up here for the Scallywags?
Here we go, the restart. They kick it deep.
Into the sun. It probably wasn't a bad kick, actually.
Henderson puts a big boot on it again, but can't find touch. Here we go. Here's the danger man, Jordan Bolland. Look at that searing pace. Fends off two. Scratched again by Mannix. Slow coming here for the Bombers. Ephraim's out to Ronnie.
They're offside.
An advantage being played here for the Bombers. The box kick comes.
No bomb to try tackle.
You take the 3 here, Brad.
Yeah, I'll probably back yourself to take the 3 points here.
Take it back out to a 6-point lead.
Yep, and they've signalled that. Shot at goal, and Nick Mannix is down. Looks like he might have just copped a bit of a knock, but he's back on his feet. There's more players now stretching out their legs even more as cramp is even further descending into the ranks of both teams.
Yep, comes in like the plague.
So this to bring it out to 6-point lead for the Bombers. In the other semi-final, it's half-time. High school old boys are ahead 13-0 ahead of Grammar Tech.
Pushed wide.
No, unsuccessful. 22-metre dropout here for Old Boys University.
Oh, good, Johnny. Next one, next one.
Mannix marshalling the troops. Get back, get back. Don't want anyone in front now.
High kick, well secured. Oh, that came off an Old Boys University player.
But unlucky there, Tom Mallender was getting out of there. Unfortunately, the ball followed him. A little bit unlucky there, but the correct call made. And then go for another shot at goal here.
Well, this one that goes over will be a real beauty.
Of course, it eats up the clock a little bit too.
It's roughly about 46 metres away, 15 in from Western touchline. A big moment here for Jed Bolland. He's been well known. Been a good technical goal kicker. This is a moment to put himself into the moment.
Short.
Unfortunately, short of the post, and Tomasi Connor decides to run it out. Pleased for a turnover from Takapuna, but to no avail. Henderson.
Got numbers.
Plumtree. Jensen, oh, jumped into that tackle. Pleased for a turnover, no avail again. They keep working hard here, do the Bombers. And it's been turned over by Tuffer. Great work. They go for it again. Milliken, head down, charge. Oh, here we go. The bounce of the ball. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. But it's going to be a 5-metre line out for Old Boys University. Still not out of the danger yet.
Yep, players are still going down. There's only a couple of minutes left. OBU really need to hold on to this ball now. As the Takapuna team management make their way down towards the goal line.
Well, they're just heading to the pressure. Oh, it's been secured by Fawcett, just when they needed their line out to work. Fowler surveys and looks. He's got Henderson in the box. He kicks and puts a boot on it.
Yep, relieves the pressure temporarily.
And it's still inside the 22. Takapuna line out. The place at North Harbour Stadium next Saturday awaits. At the moment, the advantage is with Takapuna in these closing moments of the semi-final.
As referee Harris rightly tells them to get a move on.
Here we go. Milliken with the line-out throw. Secured by Smith. And here's Tuffer. Runs into Tomasi Connor. Blackburn looks. Slammed by Jack Green. Outside the 22 now. Try to get over the top to Old Boys University. They've turned it over.
Sensational. Tom Mallender there.
Here we go. Can they crawl their way back down the field?
They're going to have to run it, I think.
Here's Mannix. Out to Plumtree. He's been sorted out quickly. Fawcett. Been a tireless worker for the Scallywags this season. Mallender again. And good meters here. As we get closer and closer to the clock rolling down. No clear
Quick
release.
tap from Fowler again.
Fowler goes. Here's Connor. Driven back.
Good tackle.
There's an Old Boys University player down, not looking to flash. Fowler goes, not to be. It's been knocked on. And now they've got numbers, and they could score here. Takapuna. No to be for Bolland. Fowler reaches in. That's a penalty any day of the week.
Desperation there from Matt Fowler. Unfortunately, it might earn him a card.
Nine, ball's not out. You're off.
Yeah. Got a bit eager there. Unfortunately, that might well be the end of this game.
Yes, well, he's a passionate man, as Matt Fowler. That time there, though. And it's going to be a yellow card any day of the week. And we've got time off here. As there's still a player down for Old Boys University, that same player that was down hitting the turf, not looking too flash. Any idea who that is, Ethan?
No idea, Brad. It is a good view up here, but unfortunately we don't have eagle eyes. Still an opportunity, though. Takapuna could close this out, or OBU could spoil the party.
Well, the good news, he's back on his feet now. That's good.
OBU will have to go 95 metres if they are going to do it.
Now he's back on his feet as the Old Boys University player, but he's going to be substituted.
Not too sure who's gone on for him. It has been a tough, bruising game, this. And whoever goes through to the final next week, they'll have to rely on all their reserves. As the line-out's messy.
It's messy, but Takapuna still have the ball. Slow coming. And this is all they just need to do now, the Bombers. They just need to close it out and frustrate the Scallywags. Good patience and good build-up. They've had the better of the second half, have the Bombers. And one of the players there, Milliken, was just holding up his whole hamstring. He's fully cramped up. He's hopping on the field. Can the defence work here? Can they get a turnover, the Scallywags? It's slow coming. This is great play here by Takapuna, drawing in the Scallywags. At the base they are. They go again. Scallywags holding them out, but for how long? What a semi-final this has been. They get the beauty!
Leave him.
Henderson taps and has a run, but he's not on the mark.
Does this game have any more twists? We are not finished. Can the Scallywags go 95 metres? Mannix surveys his options. Remember, they're a player down.
A player down. Anything's possible, geez. Mannix kicks this into touch.
A place in the national final on the line. Both teams desperate. This has been a sensational game, and it's all going to come down to this. A line out for OBU on their own 22.
Here we go. Hang on to your seats, folks. This is going to be a blockbuster finish. Frank Anderson secures it, and they swarm around him like a pack of bees. And they keep charging forward. This is good work by the Scallywags, but they've still got more distance to go. Makinda gets through. It's loose ball. Chasing back after it. And pushed back into their 22. Fawcett decides to have a run. The surveying options. Fowler's the halfback. He's on the sin bin. Here's Henderson. Secured. They look to get over the top of him. Have they got the penalty? Not their time. Alexander at acting halfback. Here goes Mannix. Tries to cut open the line. Oh, that's a lift.
No,
good tackle.
Got it right in the end.
Under 85 kg rugby at its finest here at Rugby League Park. A semi-final. And it's still going. And the Scallywags fighting fit. They get another penalty.
Another penalty.
You've got to get out quicker.
Charlie Harris been very strict on tacklers not rolling away, and on that occasion they do it again.
Mannix looks for distance. Bangs it down.
About halfway. Oh, that's a very good kick there from Mannix.
Yes, 4 metres inside Bombers territory. Directly in front of the grandstand here at Rugby League Park.
As the Scallywag supporters find their voice. The game is not finished yet.
What a semi-final it has been.
Oh, he's taken him in the air.
Is it there for the Scallywags? It
is.
still is. Mannix looks.
Oh, great ball!
Plumtree cuts them open. Can he go the whole way? He's going to be brought down. 10 short of the 22. Alexander out to Fawcett. Fawcett needs players around him to support him. Please for a turnover. No, it's still there for the Scallywags. Maddox!
Oh, he's lost it.
Has he lost it? It's got backwards, it is. He hangs on just. They pick and go again. Loose ball! Takapuna plunging it.
No, another penalty. 3 in a row against Takapuna.
Down by 3. Ball's emerging. You can't dive on the ball.
Down by 3. If they take a shot at goal, it's going to be extra time, folks. If they go for the shot at goal.
Be a big kick if they were going to go for it. Don't see anyone striving for it. A lot of people are pointing to the corner.
Yeah, turned it down.
They want to win. I'm sure both teams don't want to go to extra time, Brad, so...
No, exactly. The second half has got extra time on it too.
Oh, it has. This is utterly sensational. Old Boys University have been given 3 penalties in a row, and so far they've gone about 80 metres of the 90, well, a bit less than that, 70-odd metres of the 90 they need to go.
Massive line out.
Oh, it didn't look very straight.
No, it's not straight. Takapuna have won. They are through to the national final. 33 points to 30. The Scallywags, got to hand it to them. They fought their way down to the 22, but unfortunately the last throw was not straight. And Takapuna survive a scare. And they'll be back home at North Harbour Stadium next Saturday to play the winner of High School Old Boys at Grammar Tech. What a semi-final it's been, Ethan Loveridge.
Oh, great game of rugby, Brad. It's such an unfortunate way to end. It's a shame we couldn't see a slightly better finish, but both teams have played absolutely out of their skin. Takapuna used their bench really well. They had good depth, and unfortunately, some unforced errors potentially cost Old Boys University this game, but they've had a heck of a season. And let's hope they can come back and try and go a couple better next year, but they've had a great season. It's a bit of a shame it had to end that way. There had to be a winner, there had to be a loser. And Takapuna took their opportunities, and they'll go to the big dance next week.
Many thanks to Ethan Loveridge for joining the broadcast this afternoon. What a semi-final it's been. Well officiated, played in great spirits. And Rugby League Park has seen a beauty of a game. Many will remember this game for a long time. There has to be a winner and there has to be a loser, and it's Takapuna that are the victors here today, one step closer to winning the national title. Many thanks to our cameraman Dan Hicks doing a sterling job behind the lens. And I'm Brad Hudson. Ciao for now.